Hello and welcome to this ComputerWeekly.com security special. During this interview, we aim to give you the latest thinking from one of the UK's leading security experts. To help us do this, we've enlisted the help of David Lacey, security expert and ComputerWeekly.com blogger.
Hi, I'm David Lacey. I'm here today at Betfair talking to Sandra Barton-Nicol, who's Head of Risk Investigations. Betfair is the largest betting exchange in the world with more than 1 million customers, and clearly fraud's at the centre of that. So clearly you're at the sharp end of the business, Sandra. So what do you think are the biggest challenges for you? Is it the growing sophistication of threats or the growing complexity of the infrastructure, or is it something else?
David, I'd have to say it's a combination of the two. As the internet grows and people become more conversant with it, the criminals are becoming more sophisticated. We are seeing it's becoming harder and harder, especially in the fraud environment, to be able to identify criminal activity versus genuine client activity. And it requires a lot of time and investment in order to make that association between the two. Also, I think criminals now are even more willing to infiltrate organisations in order to meet their end goals. So you're not only trying to protect the business and the clients from the enemy at the gate, you also have to be willing to protect the business from the enemy within and ensure that you have proper processes and policies and procedures that would identify that type of behaviour within your business.
What do you think are the most important trends in the security industry at the moment, and how are you responding to those?
Well, I can't really speak for the security industry in general, because I think security touches on so many aspects of the business. I would do the topic a disservice to try and generalise in that way. But what I can speak about is, particularly in my sector, in the e-commerce environment, and I feel that the biggest trend for us is e-commerce crime. Fraud. We hear numerous reports, we see it on the TV all the time about people's identities being taken over, bank accounts being taken over, phishing, farming, and the various methods that criminals will use to gain access to your confidential personal information and take control of your accounts. Also, businesses themselves are significant victims, because not only do we have to pay the cost of when you have your account taken over or your credit card used without your permission, but we're also the victims of blackmail through DDoS attacks or threats of DDoS attacks. I think the third significant issue for us in the e-commerce environment is money laundering. We've seen recent reports of terrorist financing through online gaming sites, but when you actually look into it, it's actually people committing fraud and then using that money to finance other activities. Now, when that gets into the public sector and it gets into the press, it doesn't matter that it was fraud. It's terrorist financing. That's what people talk about. That's what gets the attention of politicians, regulators, government, and it's that which can be actually quite detrimental to the reputation of an organisation if they don't have the proper infrastructure to manage those risks.
You're in the gambling business, really, Betfair. How does that shape the organisation's risk appetite? Does it affect your own risk assessments?
Well, I'd say Betfair, our business is gambling, but we don't gamble on risk. Our executives take their responsibilities in that realm very, very seriously. And I think, to be honest, any organisation that doesn't factor in risk into its business plan, its vision, its strategy, is making actually poor business decisions. I think, an appetite of an organisation is influenced by the industry in which it operates, the product and the service offering that they're delivering, and also the demographic that they're trying to appeal to, and the geographic locations and subsequent restrictions. But I think risk assessment of your business, of your core products, of your, various subsidiaries is good business, just makes good business sense. And it can actually be quite a cost-effective way for an organisation to save a lot of money.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
David, that was really interesting. What was the highlight for you?
Well, I think the fact that it's quite clear Betfair builds security around the business. The business comes first. Sandra understands the business, makes an effort to do that, and security fits around that, not the other way around.
Excellent. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. Look forward to seeing you again at our next security special.